guys, and welcome to one more episode of Builder Nation. For today's agenda, we have Jason Aldridge, founder and president of Turf Tank, a company with the coolest GPS autonomous paint robot for sports fields. So thank you, Jason, for being here today. Super excited to hear about you and about your story.
Thank you so much for having us. We're super excited about what you guys do on this website. And so we're super happy to share our journey and kind of the awesome story that we've experienced along the way. Yeah, so Turf Tank was founded by myself in 2016 here in Atlanta, Georgia. And it's been an amazing journey from literally sitting on my couch watching an episode of Shark Tank to having my own company that I called Turf Tank, just as a kind of a nod to the inspiration from watching that show. There's so many great entrepreneurs that come on that show. And it was just a really inspirational time for me to be able to come up with the idea to bring robotic sports paint machines to the sports industry. It was very exciting. And it's been a wild and crazy ride, but we're super excited about what all we've been able to accomplish since then.
I mean, it makes sense because I know that you have a business administration degree.
Yep,
so
that's correct.
Why robotics?
Yeah, so I had a background in technology primarily from when I started my college career. I worked for a lot of Fortune 100 companies managing their ERP systems. And so I did a lot of high level systems level architecture. But after being in corporate America for a long time, I really kind of had the heart to get into more entrepreneurial, more innovative startup type companies. And so probably before I started Turf Tank around 2012, I actually worked for another startup company that was big in the sports industry. It was a cloud-based video editing solution that is very common in the US. So I worked for that company for about 5 or 6 years. And then really just kind of wanted to do something new and do something that was kind of mine that I could put my stamp on. And so, like I said, in 2016, I was watching Shark Tank. And I was sitting with my 16-year-old son at the time. And I turned to him and I said, you know, wouldn't it be cool if we could make a robot that would paint sports fields? And like a typical 16-year-old would be looking at his father, he just kind of looked at me, rolled his eyes and said, yeah, whatever, Dad. But really at that moment, I really put into my heart that I wanted to make this happen. I wanted to make it a reality. And so because I was already working in the sports industry and I worked in the vertical markets that I would take this product to, I started to just ask them and said, hey, what if I told you I was going to create a robot that could paint sports fields and save you a lot of time and save you a lot of money? And the feedback instantly was, Jason, this would be amazing if this type of product would exist. And so I just really started going down that path of developing this product. During 2016, as I started the journey to see what components are available, is there anybody in the marketplace that has done this? I discovered a company in Denmark that actually had started that process as well. They were originally called Intelligent Marking, based in Denmark. I had created Turf Tank myself. And so I reached out to them and we the stars were aligned perfectly that we were able to come together and form Turf Tank. And they became kind of the robot geeks, if you will, the developers. They were the ones that, you know, did all of the programming logic. But then from my standpoint, I was the go-to-market strategy, the business development, the sales strategy, and building up the operations to bring the product to the US market primarily. So now we're in just about every continent in the world. We went from my couch to having three offices in the US. And then, of course, we have offices in the UK. We also have our production facility in Denmark as well. And so it's really exciting. We have probably over 120 employees now worldwide. Like I said, about 80 of those are here in the United States.
Wow. Okay. First things first, congratulations. because this is a big achievement. I mean, you make it sound so natural and so easy and so like it's your day-to-day because it is. But I mean, hearing it from the other perspective, it's really impactful, if I can say it like that. Wow, it's amazing. I know that your main product is called Turf Tank One. Would you mind sharing a little bit about what the technical specifications are, or how does it work, or anything regarding the product?
Yeah, so the Turf Tank One is a GPS guided paint machine that uses RTK technology, which was originally started in a lot of agricultural, machinery, so that farmers would be able to use GPS guidance to be able to plow fields, because you have a huge open area. You want to be able to make sure you're plowing fields straight and maximizing the large area in which you're trying to grow your crop. So we took that same technology and applied it to sports field line marking. And so the way it works is our robot acts as a paint machine that will be a mobile device that moves around a field, painting a field using geometry. So we have all of the sports fields programmed in our application and in our software. So if there's a sports field, or if there's a geometric shape, we can do logos, we can type text. So there's a lot of amazing things that you can see if you go to our website at turftank.com. So we can always we can paint whatever you need. And so then the robot connects to a base station that serves as a static latitude and longitude point in the area. And so that becomes like a static reference point that the robot talks to, so that as it's moving across the ground, leaving a trail of paint behind, it's knowing where it's at on the map. And so that's basically how the technology works. And so we have very intuitive software that is super easy for our customers to use. And they literally just pull up a map and say, I want a soccer field, or I want a football field, or a lacrosse field, or baseball, softball, any sport that you can imagine. Or they want to, like I said, we have logo. We can customize logos. We can do text. We do the American flag or breast cancer awareness. So we do it all. And so it's really amazing, mainly because it saves so much time and so much, it saves a lot of money, really, because we live in a day in which labor productivity is super important. We started the company in 2016, but we even experienced 100% growth even during 2020 during COVID, because labor productivity, social distancing became such a huge aspect of our life. And so this robot now allows one person, one operator, to work on painting the fields, instead of before, if you were doing it in a manual manner, it would take 2 to 3 to 4 people that were in close proximity to each other. They would be pulling strings. They would be trying to walk very carefully over a string to paint over that line to do whatever type of field they were painting. Now you have one operator, puts paint in the robot, takes it out on the field, pushes a button, and the robot goes and does its thing. So it's a really amazing tool, and we're super excited to just see the feedback that we get from our customers about it.
And I mean, I did take a look at your website and it looks amazing. Not only talking on the marketing side, but also on the product side. I think that it's really interesting to see how you're providing solutions, not only for sports fields, but also I was reading for parks as well. And I mean, the fact that you can create lines in order to make designs for almost anything, it's impressive. And I'm curious to ask, like, what has been I don't know if I can call it the craziest client or the most random request that you have received?
So we've had some really cool things that have happened. I mean, there's been some concerts that have used it just for social distancing. During COVID, we had a municipality out in California that they had a huge yoga class that was normally inside. And because people wanted to do the activities that they were used to doing, they moved it outside. And so they used our robot to paint these huge circles in this huge field, and they were able to do their yoga class outside. That's an example of some of the stuff that we've done. So, I mean, it really has been a great tool for different organizations to use. Obviously, sports is the primary purpose of it, but it's been used to make parking lots as overflow of like large concerts. So if you need to paint parking spaces in grass, you can use it. We've done a lot of special logos to honor people. We were actually the Tour de France that just happened. There was a biker for the country of Denmark that actually was killed last year in a bicycle accident, and so we honored him by painting his face on a field, and that was shown on worldwide television. They showed the face that our robot had painted, and so there's some really cool things that you can do with the robot, and so we're very blessed to be able to just contribute to people, be able to honor people where we need to. And also just to be able to provide a great playing surface for, whatever sport that you're in love with.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing. I love hearing these kind of stories. I think it's really encouraging, if you could put it like that. And okay, so you have been for quite a couple of years now, but you were in the middle of the pandemic, right?
Yeah, so that's a great point. So when we first introduced the product to the US market, it was an outright purchase option only. And it's not a cheap purchase, right? So, it took some funding and people to get in their budgets, which is okay for a lot of municipalities. But our goal as a company was to be able to provide this to any sized organization. So we have churches that have recreational fields that use this robot, all the way to professional teams in the largest sports venues in the world that use it. One of the ways that we've been able to do that is we do a subscription as a service program now. So you no longer have to purchase the robot outright, but you can do an annual subscription. And we have different levels of service and opportunity for you so that you can make it to be affordable for your budget, and you can experience your ROI immediately. So we started that process in 2019, and that's when we really started to take off as a company. And so I would say 95% of our customers participate in our subscription plan instead of an outright purchase. And so if you think of it like your Netflix subscription or Amazon, or, you got a monthly fee, that's what you can do with our robot. And so again, on top of that, it puts the burden on us because you're not necessarily purchasing it outright, but it's on us to give you a great product and a great support mechanism to show you that, we're going to give you a product that's world-class and that you're going to fall in love with. So that's the easiest way for us to get the robot in the hands of our customers.
Wow, that's a great strategy. Yeah, it's interesting. And I'm glad that it worked. I mean, right in the middle of the pandemic. And talking about this period of time, I'm curious, I've talked with different founders and CEOs, and whenever we come to this point of talking about the 2020, everyone complains about supply chain. Did you have any problems with that?
Yeah, so we make the robot ourselves. So we do have components that we purchase from different vendors. And so supply chain has been challenging, but we definitely managed during the 2020 epidemic year. I think a lot of those orders that we were able to sell or pre-sell in 2019, a lot of those orders is what happened in 2020. And so we had the supply on hand to be able to fulfill those needs. And so definitely 2021 and 2022, 2021 especially was a challenge, especially in the paint industry. So paint manufacturing. So there's a lot of ingredients that are used in making the paint. So with our subscription, we also provide paint that goes with the robot in the subscription. And so we've partnered with 3 primary paint manufacturers that are pretty large in the sports industry. And so they make us a customized solution for the robot. So they ran into challenges. So paint was a definite supply chain challenge for us. But we really came together as a team, worked really hard, and got done what we needed to get done. In fact, some of our sales reps, for instance, if we weren't able to deliver a robot for them of their own, we would take our own unit, our own demonstration unit, and paint their fields for them if there was a delay of whenever they would have their own unit. We would even have stories of our customers helping other customers. So if they had a problem with their robot that, we need to send them a part, but they had to get a field painted, our other customers would gladly go and help that customer. And so we've really created a family atmosphere with this company. And so we call it the Turf Tank Army. And that goes for our employees, but it also goes for our customer base. A lot of our customers we've actually poached and they now work for us. So we have sales reps, we have operations men and women that were customers, and now they actually work for Turf Tank. So that's really exciting, just to really think about the culture that we've created at Turf Tank, because culture is so important. I mean, you can have a great product, but if you don't have a great culture, it may be hard to sustain. But I think because of the culture that we've established and the reputation that we have in the sports industry, everyone is most of the time pretty understanding if supply chain issues happen or if problems occur, because problems do occur, right? I mean, it's technology and things fail. And so if those types of things happen, we really try to be on the ball. And we've established a great company culture. We've established a great level of customer service. And so we kind of take the motto, whatever it takes to go the extra mile, we're going to do it. So it's really worked out well for us.
Oh, I love to hear it. And yeah, I mean, you just mentioned the importance of building a community. I think, yes, it's great that you have an amazing product, but at the end of the day, if you do not have a great relationship with your team, with your customers, with investors as well, I mean, at the end of the day, it's not going to be a successful company, if we can put it in somehow.
Yep, exactly.
So
yeah, and I will say, I mean, it was really big. Our investment team, we have two primary investors that are fully dedicated to our company. Without them, we wouldn't have been able to do, me starting the company from my couch. It takes a lot of resources to make this happen. And so probably about a year ago, the investors said, let's get branded trucks for everybody. And I'm like, okay, let's do it. So, I mean, it's really exciting to see your ownership group that is so excited about the product. They're so proud of what this company means to them. And the customer success stories that we see. It's just, we think it's the coolest company in the world. And we call it the coolest robot ever. And that's what we kind of stand behind. And we have different, I guess, mottos over the years. One was make your mark, no strings attached. Another one was perfection is on the line. Those are the types of, mottos and kind of war cries that we want to have as a company to just make a major impact to our customer base, make them fall in love with the product, so that when they start to subscribe to our product, they're never going to go back to painting fields manually. We never see that happen. So if they get our robot, they're going to fall in love with it. They're going to tell their friends and neighbors. They're going to post it on social media. And so it really is an exciting company to work for. And we have the best people on the planet working for Turf Tank. And it's really exciting just to see how the company's growing and progressing.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing. And last but not least, do you have any advice for future entrepreneurs, future engineers, maybe starting on this technical path?
Yeah. So, one of the things I would say is just, follow your passion and follow your dreams. I learned a lot of great things from my father. My father was, he's retired now. He definitely was the generation that you go to work and you work for the same company forever and you just keep your mouth shut, put your head down, work hard. And so he taught me that concept of hard work and doing the right thing and treating people right. But the one thing I think that he lacked in was kind of that risk taking, which is what is part of entrepreneurship. I'm definitely a risk taker. I'm definitely somebody that if you put your mind to something and you say you're going to go do it, just go do it and see what happens. I mean, if when I turned to my son and said, hey, wouldn't it be cool if we could make a robot that could paint sports fields? And when he kind of rolled his eyes at me and I just said, oh, well, yeah, I can't do that. I mean, we wouldn't be here today. And so, it's pretty cool just to to follow your dreams and to be passionate about it. And so I think as an entrepreneur, no matter what type of company that you're going to start, if you create that foundation of building that foundation, you're going to have success in whatever you do. So that would be my biggest advice.
Wow, thank you so much for sharing. I love how you share everything, like how things have changed, and you give us like the before and the after and how things are running right now. So congratulations on that. Congratulations on your big success. And do you have any social media handles? Where can we find you? Where can people follow you?
Yeah, so our website is a great resource for you to go to if you go to turftank.com. We're on TikTok, so like we've gotten, it's so crazy. You'll see a 10-second video of a robot painting a line and we'll get millions of views. So it is so cool to just see the social media impact of our product that you would think is something that's so simple. But we're on social media, we're on Instagram, we're on Twitter, we're on TikTok. Last year, I'll kind of give you an idea of just the coolness of the things we get to do. Ted Lasso is a very popular series on Apple. And they had a season premiere of Ted Lasso season 2, and they asked us to paint a field on top of the floor for their season premiere. And so it's just like we get to do so many cool things and be a part of some cool events. So if you Google turftank.com or Turf Tank, you're going to find plenty of information about us. But yeah, check us out, turftank.com, and get you a robot if you don't have one yet.
Oh, amazing. Thank you so much, Jason. Thank you so much for taking the time of this interview. And remember, guys, that you can also find more information, interesting articles, interesting interviews directly on our website, controlhub.com/builder-nation. We will love to hear from you. And once again, I can thank you enough, Jason. Thank you so much for taking the time. I know that you're super busy. So it was our pleasure to have you here at Builder Nation.
Thank you so much.